Okay, and welcome to another edition of the Wood Podcast. This is season 3, episode 4. We had season 3. We kicked off season 3 with Pablo and Curry, the Bone Crew. Then we had Jackson Langley coming in from Amarillo. Then we had Paul Canetti. Then now I have did we have? Yeah. Then now we have
the Squash Kids.
The Squash Kids. That's right. So this is episode 5. So we had Pablo and Curry of the Bone Crew. Then we had Jackson Langley. Then we had Gus and Gabe of Squash Skateboards. Then we had Paul Canetti, and then now we have Brian Love, who also comes up here and is a TSG the skate gym. That's what TSG stands for, locals. And he's a coach here. He's been an extremely valuable resource and partner here. I've seen him grow and hone his coaching skills with both the kids and the adults, and individually and with an entire group of people. It's been pretty rad. And he's a ripper. He's been teaching at Cedar Park, in Brushy Creek and Lakewood before this. And I'm super stoked to have you here. I appreciate you coming here.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man. So like I said, season 3, this podcast is brought to you by the Skate Gym. It's brought to you by the Bone Crew, and it's brought to you by Beware and Hellsick Skateboards, who've helped a lot. And then if you haven't watched the Won't Shut Up and Skate podcast with Chip and Carrie as the hosts, I produced that as well. And Chip and Carrie, they know how to talk a lot, and they know a lot about Texas skateboard history, and that's what that podcast is all about. So go check that out. You can really hear firsthand some of the OG stories from the 60s, 70s, and 80s of Texas skateboard history, and they'll be going on to the 90s as well. But for this podcast, we're 3 seasons in, and I interviewed a bunch of locals. I started off just going to skate parks and bringing this little PodTrack P4 Zoom recorder and a couple mics. That's all it really takes. And if you just know how to edit a little bit of audio, then you can make a podcast too, just like this, and interview people around you and just kind of create an archive of people. This is to me, this is super valuable because, I'm not making any money off of it, but this is on the record. And then hopefully maybe years down the road, somebody might look back at this and be like, wow, man, that's really how it was back then. And Leander at this time and date, and just it's down, and who knows what this could be an inspiration for, So yeah, anyway, it's great to see the stoke.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff. I love it.
Yeah, man. And Brian has here been coaching, and welcome to the show, Brian.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's start a little bit about you, your first skateboard and your first memory of skateboarding.
Yeah. So my first memory of skateboarding, I think my neighbor had a board, and he was about the same age as me and my brother, and we tried it and had fun with it. We eventually asked our mom to get us a board, and I believe we had one board between the two of us to share to see if we liked it. We had a Plan B Complete. It was probably
just the company brand.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Plan B, and it was real little, but anyways, we just skated in the driveway a bunch until, we eventually started figuring it out and, learning how to ollie a little bit, and we'd start asking our mom to take us to a skate park in Liberty Hill called Ramp Wrench. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but it was an indoor park in Liberty Hill, and it's pretty gnarly, but we'd go spend 7 hours up there, and which is a blast, It was probably my first memories. And
Ramp Ranch is pretty cool. They had a big 7-foot half pipe. They had a street course.
Yes.
It was a huge building, bigger than this, and it also had a bowl in the back.
Yeah, and they had a foam pit. I always remember the foam pit. Yeah. We'd launch ourselves in there, and that was a blast.
Yeah, a lot of BMXers would go there too, right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
it was more of a BMX park a lot, but there were skaters there.
Oh, that's rad, man. So you had a good park to start out with, and you said previously that your mom would drop you off for 7 hours as a daycare there.
Pretty much, we were like those kids that didn't want to leave the park, mom's time to go. We're no, 10 more minutes.
After
10 more
7
minutes.
hours.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, the skateboard latchkey kid experience. His mom drop you off at the skate park and be gone for hours. Come home when the sun, goes down, and sometimes even after that. Yeah. So that's really cool. Yeah, mine was a skate park at Houston Orange Grove growing up. Yeah, my mom during summer times dropped me and my brother off of there. Dennis Epinette would give us like candy bars and cokes. Jeff Phillips taught me my first frontside grind there. And like some of the better locals. And you'd mentioned that you don't really remember any particular notable ones, but they showed you some stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I do remember some older dudes always, helping us and looking after me and my brother and kind of just, pushing us in the right direction.
Yeah.
Kind of the, same sort of thing we do here. There was a few, I don't remember the guy's name, but I do remember one person, and I just really looked up to him, and he was a really good skateboarder, and he always was real cool to us. And, ever since then, and when I got back on my board, somebody asked me to help coach at a summer camp, and automatically I loved it. And I just felt like, I was kind of doing the same sort of thing, just helping kids and pushing them in the right direction, with the skateboarding. And it's just a blessing to be a part of.
Yeah. When you see like it click with somebody and the stoke that they get in their eyes, and it's like, and you can't, it's nice. It's contagious, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And you're just like, you're high-fiving them.
It pushes you too, because you see, everybody else learning, and you're like, I gotta learn new stuff too. I've been skating this long, and you still learn new stuff. So sometimes it's easy to get stagnant. Just go to the park and do the same tricks how to do, and but it's
like a little safety net. Like you show up and you have like maybe 5 tricks out of like your warm-up tricks, and sometimes you don't really get beyond that.
Exactly.
So what would you say that you're like your go-to warm-up tricks? Okay, I've started the session tricks are
definitely like a kick flip. I like to do manuals to warm up, like a good manual on the mani pad, and some nose slides, backside nose slides, maybe backside 50-50. Yeah, that's about it. Maybe crook, but that's a little more.
That's when the session starts.
Yeah, once I'm doing crook, I'm like, all right, now the session's on. I'm done with warm ups.
That's really cool, man. So tell me about like your first real pro model setup.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I think it was an element board, and we had Indy trucks on it.
Yeah.
I always rode Indies. I'm not sure the wheels. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe Spitfires, but I do remember it was like an element board, the OG element graphic.
Yeah.
And some Indy trucks. It was probably 775, really tiny at the time.
I have a 775 in here, a primitive and a real. That's really cool, man. So you're from a different generation of skateboarding than I am, and it seems like you guys don't really care as much about the graphics. It's more about like the size of the board.
Definitely.
What would you say the differences are?
I do like the graphics, definitely, but it's more about the size and the shape for me. Like I try to play around with different sizes and shapes, but once you find that size and shape you like, it's I gotta stick with it for at least a little while and get comfortable with it. But I don't know. There's some people that like graphics a lot. I do like graphics. So just, that's not my first thing I look at when I go to buy a board. It's definitely the size and shape.
Size and shape first, and then you narrow it down. Okay. What are you riding right now there?
I got this Anti-Hero 8.5. I guess it's a shorter wheelbase board. And, I've learned that I like the shorter wheelbase boards a lot.
Okay.
So this is my first Anti-Hero actually, and I'm probably going to ride a few more of them, definitely.
You found the brand locked in for a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So explain to like the audience what the difference of a wheelbase means.
So the wheelbase is how far apart the trucks are, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it, I don't know if it's the bolts.
I think it's from kingpin to kingpin.
Kingpin to kingpin.
I'm not 100% sure about that, but
Kingpin to kingpin. And so they say like, shorter people like myself, the shorter wheelbase works for them. I don't know what it is.
It turns tighter?
Yeah. Turns tighter, and I just feel like I have more control when I'm flipping the board, and
the further apart the trucks are from each other, the more space there is between the trucks, and the longer your board is in a lot of cases, therefore it's more stable. And you want that for bigger ramps, higher speed tricks.
Yeah.
Where a shorter wheelbase would be like for more flip tricks and things like that.
Yeah,
which
definitely.
you definitely do a lot of flip tricks as well.
Flip tricks and grinds is my. I like ledge skating.
Ledge skating,
most, I would say. Yeah.
I noticed that a lot of the skaters out here in Leander really like a lot of the flip tricks and flap ground and stuff like that. There's not a whole lot of like bigger bowl or ramp skaters out here that I noticed.
No, not really. Yeah. I would attribute that to like the two parks around here. There's not much transition. I mean, the Binbrook Bowl is pretty hard to skate, but I mean it is transition. But I see a lot of guys just go to the park and skate in flat ground a lot, which is cool. But you go a little bit more north, or south, I guess. You got bowls like Brushy and downtown you got House Park Bowl. Definitely that way you're going to see some serious bowl riders over there.
And I took them out to Doug King's and they skated vert ramp for you first time. That was your first drop-in experience on a big ramp. How did that feel?
That was amazing. It was a blast. It was scary, when you're up there like, oh my God. Once I did it and committed though, wasn't bad. The transition was real mellow, and I actually had a lot of fun and want to vert skate more now.
That's rad. Yeah, it really kind of pushed a lot of people out of their boundaries. Back to Leander skating, did you, like before Skate Gym, did you have like a little crew of skaters, or you're mainly kind of a solitary skater?
Kinda. I do have a little Lakewood crew, that I was skating with for a while, and I kind of hop around. I do a lot of solo skating, It's, a lot of times I'm getting off of work and just trying to get an hour in after work, or, squeezing some time in on the weekend. But yeah, I definitely, the Bone Crew guys, I love skating with them at Benbrook and, wherever. And then I have a few friends from Lakewood, Christo Amp, shout out Christo, and a few guys over there, Chase, some of the younger guys. I like skating with them. Yeah, so I like to, bounce around crews, I guess. I like everybody, I get along with everybody, try to,
So you've been teaching individuals or groups of people at Lakewood and Brushy Creek?
Individuals mostly.
Okay.
I started, friend Zach, he was doing the summer camps for Cedar Park skateboarding at Brushy, and he asked me to help. I think this was 3 years ago now, and I helped with him, and I loved it the first week. And after that, he gave me a few private lessons, and through him, I did that. And then, after that, I would be doing lessons at the park, and people would ask me if I do lessons, and I'd give them my contact info, and we'd set something up. And ever since that first summer camp, I've probably had every time 1 to 2 kids, I'm working with, every 2 weeks maybe, or maybe every week. But yeah. And then, when I found out this place was opening, I just, wanted to be a part of it anywhere I can. So I remember I came and asked you if you needed help coaching, and, I just learned so much here from you, and how you coach, and it has definitely made me a better coach and learn stuff. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
That's rad. I think we were recording earlier, and I mentioned the other coaches, JJ and you, and then me, have been coaching here. And JJ's like, he's all about the hype man, and he's an amazing hype man, and he gets the kids amped up. And you're kind of the more quiet, patient, subtle, technical coach. And there's like a yin and yang, and it worked really well. And, JJ, he's got other work obligations right now, but I'm also kind of more of a hypey person. And I feel like our different styles of coaching work together very well. Yeah,
definitely. I'm a little more shy,
but you do have a good solid, stable control of the room as well too, in your own way.
Okay.
So, and I like that. What do you like the best about coaching?
Definitely seeing a kid figure something out, whatever it is that clicks in their head, and there's they light up, and that's probably the best feeling, helping them get to that point, and it's super rewarding.
Yeah. One thing that I noticed when you're coaching is that if a kid is like super nervous about something, that you're very calm with them and you know how to like settle them down.
Right. Yeah, it's super scary when you're getting on board for the first time. So I think it's, good to have someone just say, it's okay, you got it. Just feet on the board and relax, breathe, take a deep breath. And it's not as scary as it seems once you actually, do it. But it is scary at first,
That is kind of like the catch-22 about skateboarding. It's like, the faster you go, the easier it is, but the scarier it is.
That's one of the hardest things to, convey is like the speed is going to help you. And they don't quite understand it, but it really is. Speed helps, and it's hard to get over that fear factor in your head of going faster, but once you do and it clicks, for a kid, I love that feeling.
When it just like lights up in their eyes.
That's great.
That's awesome, man. So right now this is like a part-time thing for you. Do you ever see yourself like growing this out?
Yeah, definitely. Like I love what I do. I've always wanted this skateboarding and teaching. I love that, and I've always wanted to do something that doesn't seem like a job, and like that I want to wake up every day and come do it. So this is that for me. So I would definitely love to take it as far as it'll take me. I mean, I could definitely see one day just doing this full time. That would be amazing.
Do you have a kind of, I guess, a dream trick, like something that when you get, you'll be like, I've made it?
Maybe kickflip backtail.
Kickflip backtail. Okay.
Yes. I mean,
I feel like I've seen you do that.
I'm learning backtails right now. I've landed about 2. Can't do them consistently yet, but maybe one day I'll get there. Okay.
All right. And what is kind of the trick right now that you've landed that you're pretty proud of?
Probably backtail. I've landed maybe a couple of those. I've been trying to get it on video, but it's kind of hard. But I've landed a few of them. Kind of sloppy, but that's my new one. Okay.
Now, like this is skate park skating, right? Do you, like, a lot of skaters have like, skate ditches, I don't want to touch a skate park, like, do you think one is better than the other, or you just don't care, it's all just skating, or what? Like,
I would say the street skaters are definitely better, gnarlier than the guys that just skate the park. It's definitely harder to skate street. Everything's not as perfect, but any skating is skating, it doesn't matter. I like to switch it up, skate ditches, a little bit of street every now and then, and mainly I like to skate parks because that's what's easy and around here. But I would say the street skating is probably like top tier. And then ditches and street skating.
There's some really good street skaters coming out of Leander now.
I know, definitely. I love that. All the kids are wanting to stay in the streets and not only skate the park, which is good. You got to get those street clips too.
Definitely. And this place here, like, as much as I would love to have a huge bowl here, one thing that I've found that people like doing the best is just skating the flat ground in the middle and moving the boxes and rails around and just kind of doing like a choose your own adventure for the day.
Right.
And that's what I noticed you all doing. So now I'm just like, all right, I guess I better learn some street skating again.
I think that's the beauty of this place. You got all these obstacles that can be moving around. It's almost like a little bit of a DIY feel, and the ground is smooth in there, so it's a good spot for it.
Skateboarding the Olympics, what are your thoughts?
I got mixed feelings about it. I mean, I like some contest skating, like SLS and stuff. I don't really care for the way they have ran the Olympics the past 2 times. I'd like to see some real skater judges, and like, I don't know, it feels forced. Like, it just doesn't feel natural. I don't know.
All right. So game of skate. Do you like playing games of skates with randos at the skate park?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
okay.
It keeps you on your toes. You gotta, you never know what that person has in their bag of tricks.
Yeah.
So it definitely, every time I play skate, I'm probably going to do a trick that I don't normally do. So,
Yeah.
brings me out of my comfort zone a little bit. So yeah, I like that.
Okay. And I don't know if this was recorded or not, but you mentioned that teaching kind of exposes some gaps in your own skating.
Yeah, definitely.
What type of gaps would you say have been exposed recently?
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing that I learned about myself is like a lot of times I'd like to just go to the park and do the 10 tricks I know and, call it a day. And then, I start teaching and, pushing kids to try new things and seeing that click with them and how excited they get. And it's like kind of pushes me to do the same thing. I'm like, I got to try something new and learn something new. So that pushes me to, get out of my comfort zone with skating and try new tricks. And, then you learn them in a few months and you're like, it's the best feeling ever. That feeling of learning a trick never goes away. Even at, 28, I'm still, giddy when I land a new trick. So happy, but yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about skateboarding is like there's no ceiling to the amount of tricks you can learn. Yeah. And that's what the problem with like what you're saying about organized skateboarding sports is there's no rules to like really confine it.
Yeah.
So.
they try really well. And I think, some platforms like the SLS, I think they do a good job of a little bit better than the Olympics at least. But yeah, it's hard to put a score on skateboarding, because two people could do the same exact trick and one person does it way more stylish. How do you score that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool, man. So what do you think the future of skateboarding is then with that in mind? Now that because we've had a lot of people come in here, say, oh, we saw skateboarding in the Olympics. I want my kid to learn so they can be like the people in the Olympics.
Yeah, I will say I do like the light that it's shedding the Olympics on skateboarding. A lot of people are like, realizing this is a real sport and, bringing it to people's eyes that normally, might never see somebody skateboard, and now their kids want to try it. And skateboarding's for everybody. I think everybody should try it. Shout out to the older dudes that come in here and they're learning for the first time.
Yeah.
That really inspires me too, seeing like these older dudes just try something completely new out of their comfort zone, get on a board and they're learning it. And it's just, that's awesome to watch too,
Yeah, that's one thing we've seen a lot of here is like people that either used to skate when they were kids and it's like 25 years later and they're trying again, or they've always known a skater and they've been too scared to like roll up to the skate park.
Yes.
There's all these dudes and girls at the skate park kind of like looking at them, and even if nobody's like looking at you at the skate park, you feel like everybody's looking at you, right? Like,
it can be intimidating for sure. Yeah.
Like I have to tell that even to this day, I can comfortably roll up to any skate park, but I still feel like when I first roll up there and drop in, everybody's kind of sizing me up.
Definitely. It definitely happens, but you just kind of gotta just roll with it.
But this place has been kind of like a safe haven.
Yes.
Like you were saying, we have the adult class and some of the adults come in here. They've never skated and they're learning to balance for the first time. Me and you are holding them with the PVC pipe poles and they're learning how to get their balance. They feel safe and comfortable. You provide that atmosphere as well. So.
That's really good for skateboarding for sure. Like you asked the question, where do I think skateboarding is going in the future? I think this place has definitely like a place in the future for skateboarding for people that don't know how to learn or might be scared going to a skate park and trying to learn. This brings them that ability to comfortably try skateboarding, and it's a beautiful thing. Hopefully skateboarding keeps progressing and, eventually everybody's skateboarding.
It's a safe place to dabble. This is a good sandbox, right? A good playground.
Definitely.
A good sandbox to experiment, figure out if skateboarding is for you or not, and it's predictable, right? Sometimes at skate parks outdoors and public skate parks, it's unpredictable. You don't know what you're going to get. I don't know. Yeah. As we wind down, I want to know what your 3 top skateboarding influences are, or the 3 you like the best. And it can be pro, it can be local, whatever.
Yeah, right now?
Yeah.
That's a tough question. Let's see. I would say...
A few inches later.
Let's see. Okay, so I would say like the company Limousine.
Okay.
So there's a company Limousine. They put out really good videos, and their style of skating is super unique. I'd say Max Palmer is one of my favorite skaters right now. I can't think of names off the top of my head. Yeah, definitely like so the San Francisco scene I like a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of that downhill skateboarding, like wall rides. I like that kind of stuff. I don't know. And then any of the ledge guys, like Gustavo Ribeiro, like anybody that skates a lot of ledges, I like that kind of stuff, you know. So
that's cool. Yeah. So like you said, the kickflip to back tail slide on a ledge.
Yeah, definitely. And I can't think of the guy's name. He's a Brazilian guy.
Kevin Hoffler?
No, I can't think of his name right now. He skates for Plan B.
Okay. We'll have to look
Anyways.
up all the catalog of Plan B riders. And
I'm bad with names.
So whenever you figure that out later, text me the guy's name and I'll try to find a clip and you say, this guy. Well, that's cool, man. Any shout outs you want to make?
Shout out the Bone Crew. Shout out the Squash Dudes. Shout out Skate Gym.
Right on, man. Okay. Any last things you want to say to the little skateboarders coming up?
Just give it a shot, you know, and try your best. And, you know, it's okay to fall. You're going to fall a lot. And just get back up and try again.
Right on. Yeah. You heard it first from the source. All right, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.